first race of 2022.
It's the first league race of 2022.
Yes, because I did the pre-season with the F2s on Monday.
Exactly.
It's technically not my first race.
No.
And we've already just had the ready up as well, so we are going to be going shortly.
Yeah, we did it dead on time.
Which is unusual for us.
But as you can see, we are in Portugal for the first race of 2022 with Tier 2.
So, the first question is, how many people do you think are going to bin it in turns 4 or 8? Because they are the 2 killer corners around here. I mean, in fairness, turn 8 you'll just spin out, you generally don't hit the wall. It's turn 4 that throws you into the wall. And we've already had our first comment from Lurchy, and he reckons it'll be 20.
20. Ah, brilliant. But yeah, Q1. Let's see how it all goes.
I do have to apologise for my coughing again. I've still got that bug that I've had since November.
Ah,
I've shifted
Jesus.
the bug, but I've still got the cough, and I can't get rid of this cough no matter how much I try. So I do apologise if I keep coughing during comms.
It's not a problem.
Kieran says it's so good to be back, and Lurchy says, how are you guys? I'm fine, other than the cough I was just talking about.
Yeah, not too bad.
And we've got 8 people watching already. I wonder if we can break our record of comments.
What's it, 100 and...
Well, legitimate comments was around about the 100 mark, but then we had a lot of people throwing in random just numbers, just to
boost it up.
Increase the comments, yeah. So legit comments was around about 100. So I think if we break the 100 mark, we'll have broken our own record for comments, but actual proper comments, not random.
Good evening, Teabag.
Yep, Teabag and Adam are having a little chat there, saying hello to each other.
Penalty. Oh, pardon me. Penalties. So we've got Cameron Poulter and Joseph having quali bans.
So we've got a wet quali and a dry race according to Kieran. But as I say that, everyone's on soft and it looks dry now, so it may be Q2 or 3 is going to be wet.
Yeah.
But Kieran did say it's wet. Or maybe later in this session, you just don't know with the weather, do you? Like, 1 minute chance of something like this, then it was suddenly go dark and overcast, and then you'll just have rain 3 minutes later. You're like, it's... the rain changes.
And we've got Warrior Huntsman out first.
Yeah, we're going to say we've got Corky and Warrior Huntsman on track. So, if you're taking Huntsman, I will take Corky then after on that. Joseph's out now, but Joseph will just be out to confirm his setup and back in again because he's one of the 2 quali bands.
Yep. As we follow Huntsman coming up to turn, I think it's 8.
Yeah, turn 7, turn 8. I've just seen on the screen in front of me. So, Dark 373. I'm not sure who that is, but they says I'm in Sky. I'm not sure if they said something and removed it and then said something else. I'm not really sure about that one because they hadn't said anything else that I'd seen. So, oh well.
Okay, I'm just gonna get the track up for myself, just to familiarise myself with it.
Yeah. Well, Corky is just coming around to start his laps, so.
And so is Huntsman. So
Teabag's just said Huntsman was P1 in Tier 3 last season with a 117.5. And can he beat that?
As we now go to...
and then the Sociopath was a 17.6.
Yeah.
So, pretty impressive.
A 22.5 for Huntsman in the first sector.
I actually missed Corky's because we were talking about Huntsman and I was reading comments.
As we just come up for the dreaded turn 8, which Huntsman sticks onto. And we go down the hill now to turn 9.
Everybody is either out on an out lap or out on a lap, besides Joseph, who's actually just pulled into the pits, and Cameron Poulter as well, because as we said, they have qualifying bans and will not be partaking in this session?
No, a 52.5 for Huntsman in second sector. As we just come round turn 15.
I did it again, I was talking and missed Corpius, so I'll just tell you what lap time it does, alright? We'll just go for that. I can't get that bit wrong. Because even if I miss it, the screen will pick it up.
118 flat.
And
a 117.7. Let's have a look how Kieran's doing as he's just coming up to turn 8.
I wonder if he's got a different helmet on again this time.
He has, by the looks.
Yep. Looks purple and gold from here.
Yeah. There's a bit of purple, there's a bit of gold. And it's a 52.6 in the second sector, sorry. I missed Kieran's first. As we come up to turn 14.
Jump on board with Scott and see how he's doing. So I missed his actual first sector time there. But I do believe I saw purple. Could be mistaken, but I think I saw purple. It just kind of drifted off the screen as I went on board. It was nice.
It's a 17.8 from Kieran. So as we just quickly run through those who have popped in times, we've got Colby with a 17.7, Sky with a 17.7, Kieran with a 17.8, FRL Ginge, which I believe...
That was TIG
Steven. Yes, as Jado pops in with a 17.7 as well. Schnitzy then in 6th with a 17.9, Paranoid with a 18.0, Huntsman with an 18.0, Kamimo 03 with a 18.1, Armin with an 8. Yeah, nah, I haven't got the... it's changing all the time. I'm not going to bother anymore.
Well, Scott just popped in a 17.469 and Clay with a 17.611, and then Mayspin's just gone with a 17.393 and took top position.
Ooh. As we just come up to turn, I believe it is 13. Yes, turn 13 with Matey Boy.
Well, I was just jumping on board with Sociopath, but he's invalidated his lap because going off of what Teabag was saying in the comments, I was just wondering what sort of time he was putting in. So that was a 123.8, but as I said, that was an invalidated lap. So
yeah, and it's an 18.3 for Matey Boy.
So hang on, we've got a couple of sort of comments. The comments have shifted around. I don't know what's going on there. Right. So someone called Dino Dino or something says Sky's gonna bin it. Dark 373 says, when was the last time out for you guys in Portugal? So that would have been towards the end of last season.
Yes.
Was it race
14?
Yeah, no, I don't think it was that late in the season.
Hang on, it was Portugal, Brazil. Portugal,
Was it?
I don't know.
14 then.
I'm guessing Dark 373 is Sky.
I don't know, but I will be able to tell you. It was round 13. I did say 12 or 13. It was round 13 because after Portugal we had Mexico, Brazil. So you were close.
Yeah.
As was I. So yes, to answer the question for Dark there, which has just said it is Sky. Says Sky Go. Anyway.
That's Mayspin's lost it.
Oh, where?
Coming out of turn 4.
Right, so Sociopath's actually just done a 117.9, but yeah, to go back to the question about Portugal, was round 13 last season, so it was the third race before the end of the season. I am not Sky. So we had Portugal, Mexico, and then Brazil.
Okay, Dark 373 is not Sky.
Trying to think when that would have been.
Sociopath's run out of fuel by the looks of things.
Yeah, I think he has. Yeah, he popped in with a 17.984.
As the Mercedes of, I think it will be, Cammy's just come out. Yes, he has. So has Colby.
So, it's a rough estimate. Portugal would have been around 9 or 10 weeks ago. That being 2 weeks holiday, 4 races so far this season, a week off, and then it was about 3 races before the end. It was about 9 or 10 weeks.
Jeez,
So,
that's a little while ago.
2 months ago, yeah. It doesn't seem that long ago, does it? But it was around 2 months ago.
El Jobo's out, and he's just coming round turn 12. And posts a 52.6 in the second sector.
Ooh. So let's just see. You're already on with El Jobo, so I'll just jump on with Jack Slater and see how he's doing in the counterpart Williams, because I was still watching Sociopath.
And his ERS goes out, but now, and it's a 17.9. As Colby's on to his next fast lap, he's just come up to turn 9. Ah, this is Kieran's F2 helmet. He's forgotten to change it.
Forgotten to change it. That would make sense why we didn't recognise it.
And Colby is a 10th quicker with a 52.2 in the second sector.
Yeah, I missed Jack Slater's time there.
And he is following a Williams.
Oh, well, as that Dark 373 isn't actually Sky, it's actually quite good to see other people
tuning in,
of the drivers and stuff like that, tuning in to see their friends race and stuff like that.
And it's a 17.3.
Well, actually, it's the second 17.3. That's 6,000ths faster than Mayspin's time.
Yeah. As FRL Ginge is just come around the last turn.
So Jack Slater had actually invalidated somewhere towards the end of the lap there because it hasn't counted.
Ah.
Has it? Oh no, hang on, sorry, that was my mistake. He actually didn't. It was because his time was still in exactly the same place as it was before. It was actually 18.7, so it was quite slow.
FRL Ginge posting a 17.3 also.
Ooh, 3.06, so it's even faster than the other guy. There's about 3/4 of a tenth in that.
Yeah, as we got a yellow flag in sector 1, and I'm gonna... Let's jump on with Paranoid for a little bit as he's just coming up to turn 7.
So currently then, as it stands, we're losing Matey Boy, Rhinosaurus and Jack Slater, and then obviously the 2 Red Bulls. So, I mean, the 2 Red Bulls have no chance because they're not allowed to qualify.
Nope.
So it's literally 3 people we're losing from the drivers who are actually allowed out on track.
Yeah, as Paranoid sets a purple sector 2.
As I said, that's currently Matey Boy, Rhinosaurus and Jack Slater. Matey Boy and Rhinosaurus need about a 10 each to creep into the top 15. Jack Slater needs around half a second.
As Paranoid goes 5th.
Ooh.
Sorry to cut across you.
No, it's fine. That's 17.5, that's not a bad time.
And I'm going to go on with...
He's dropped in with a 17.5 as well and taken himself out of the drop zone and pushed the second Haas into it, which is on plays. So now the 2 Haas need 2 3/10 apiece to creep into the top 15.
As Cammy is just coming around the last bend, who is featuring a black and gold helmet.
So Ginger and Nathan are both retired. Obviously that'll be in the pits because they're happy with their times.
Yeah, Cammy's jumped up from 15th to 12th, which knocks Schnitzy down to that last little spot.
And there's been a bit of a conversation between people in comments at the minute. Nothing aimed at us, they're just sort of talking to each other. So, as Matey Boy just dropped in a 17.9 and jumped up to 11, which is now put Schnitzy in the drop zone, who is on a lap himself and is in sector 2. So I'm going to stay on board with him and see what his sector 2 time is.
As I'm just following a very slow Rhinosaurus, who I believe is going for another fast lap. He's going for another. Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to say he'd already set a lap and got himself into P6.
Oh!
Schnitzy's just invalidated.
That was a late dive.
5:05. So Armin is in the pits and Jack Slater is in the pits. So both of those two, if they still have the time, need to get back out on track.
Yep, there's 5 minutes remaining.
which I think Jack Slater is going to. I think he's on his way out now. Yeah, he is. He's on his way back out now.
Odds for winning at the back. 1 out of 20. Cameron Porter asked for the odds for winning from the back. 20 to 1.
Yeah, 20 to 1 chance. I mean, all you need is for everyone else in front is to crash and you'll win. That's the problem.
You asked for the odds, I give them to you.
Back out on track. Snitzy's just entered the pits, but is not safe currently.
Cammy is
of other people
going into the pits.
Warrior Huntsman on 17.9s are both very close to the drop zone. In fact, 17.9 is 17.910 from Matey Boy in 11th down to 17.998 of Schnitzy in 16th.
Oh.
So one of those people in the 17.9s are going to be lost at this point, which is currently Schnitzy, but all he needs is 14 thousandths of a second and he'll match Sociopath. As
Kieran's just coming up to... Kieran's 4 tenths up and purple sector 2.
Saying that, Sociopath is currently on a lap, so I'll stay on board and see how he does. He's right on the edge of dropping out this session, so he's got to find something in his lap now. He's done a 22.229 in sector 1 and was very slightly faster. And
Kieran goes 4th with a 17.409.
AP said to Cameron 100 to 1, winning from the back, and Doc 373 reckons Sky will get a podium.
I'm going to follow with Kieran's teammate now, who's just coming up to turn 7. Jado 99 going up to turn 8. Little bit of a wobble. Little bit of a wobble.
Gonna have to.
If we now come to turn 12, and Jado is 2.1 seconds down on his original time. But I believe he is setting up for another fast lap.
Yeah. Ooh, Sociopath was an 18 flat there. He was very, very slightly slower, but I think he's going to go for another lap. But I don't think he's got the ERS to accomplish a full lap.
And you know what? Let's do this for the first one of the year. Here's a lap of the Portugal Algarve circuit from J-Doy. We've got the run down turn 1 and he's almost lost it by hitting the sausage curb.
Sector 2, Armin is 4 tenths faster, which is going to move him to about P11 if he can hold it. 6 tenths faster, he's gone P9, which is now Sociopath into the drop zone. Along with Jack Slater, who's invalidated, and coming out of turn 4 there. That's not good for him.
Yeah.
And I think he's running out of fuel, or ran out of fuel as well.
J-Doy is 2 seconds down on his time again, with 1 minute and 40 to go.
I'm just riding on board with Snitzy. I'm trying to catch his sector 2 time as he goes through turn 9.
So I guess I'll just stick on with I'll Yobbo for a second.
Middle sector, and
no, he's going at the pits.
He's 5 thousandths of a second faster than his current time, which isn't going to be enough.
Sky's purple sector 2.
That's just where Snitzy was. He was purple sector 2. So Snitzy's also got the toe off of the McLaren that's just going in the pits.
That would be J-Doy.
And he's just found 2 tenths. That's put him into 11.
And J-Doy's Sky stays in 10th.
So we're now losing Cammy, who's on a lap and 82 thousandths faster. Scratch that, he's just done a purple sector 2 and has now gone 4 tenths faster than his current time.
Come on, Cammy, let's see what you got. As being a Mercedes driver, you've got to support your own.
Try not to be too biased, but yeah, you know.
No, I won't be biased.
No bias.
And it's a 17.3.
That's a P3. So that's now Matey Boy back into the drop zone, who has no time to get out and is in the pit, along with Jack Slater as well.
And Sociopath is on a lap.
Yeah, El Jobo, who is currently P15. If Sociopath can find the time, El Jobo's in the pit, so he won't be able to save himself if Sociopath can find time.
Which,
so it's all on Sociopath now.
I think he's gone slower because his ERS is building up and not going down. 25 seconds down.
Yeah, 25 seconds slower.
Yeah.
I was just about to say he's at 17, so no, Sociopath won't be setting another time. So that is our drop zone then. So we're losing both Red Bulls and both Williams and Haas in Q1.
Yeah.
Kieran says he got slightly held up on his first flying lap by someone getting out of his way. It happens.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the cars to be brought in for a sec.
This guy I'm making comments.
Hi Sky.
I think he's just responding to the conversation that's going on about them. Sky is the best apparently, so I'm just gonna drop off of ours and see if tier 1 is there. It is. I just want to see how the guys are doing in tier 1. Ooh, that's interesting. I didn't realise that Aiden Gray is actually
gone into tier 1 reserves. Yeah.
Yeah, I say tier 1 reserve. As has Teddy Henke as well.
As I just got the screen grabs for the Discord.
So they've got 3 minutes left of their qualifying. The 2 Mercedes are 1 and 14, if you wanted to know.
Ooh.
And the 2 Williams, obviously the team that I'm with, were 19 and I've just lost the other one, 3rd. So it's going better for Mercedes in tier 1 than it is for Williams at the minute. I've lost that too.
So
why do I do this to myself? Cammy says, to be honest, I've no clue where I got the time from there. Didn't feel too quick that lap, but I'll take it.
As Dark and Donaldinho are having a bit of an arguing a little bit.
Yeah, they're
as Colby is now coming out and he is on the soft tyres. As we got a couple people out on softs and Warrior Huntsman on the mediums.
So we've got currently, unless anyone decides to change it before exiting the pit, we've got 9 on softs and 6 on mediums. But only a handful of those are actually out on track, of course, so they can out on track. I think we've got 6 on softs and 1 on medium, which is why
Right, as Colby now starts his lap, and now I can finally properly do the lap of Portugal from the AlphaTauri of Colby. So sit back and relax.
So one of them was just apologised for the conversation they were having on our stream. We don't mind, we just don't read out the comments if you guys are having a conversation.
Kieran's just said 2 of the best commentators in League Racing on a good day. Kieran, I'm not eating!
But is it a good day? That's the question.
I feel like it's a good day.
Kieran did also say that that lap from Cammy was absolutely savage.
It was.
Yeah, I mean, he said himself he doesn't know where he found all that time.
Copy puts in a 1:18.01 to kick us off.
52.5 middle sector there from Huntsman as well. I was just riding on board, but remember he is on the mediums as well as his tail steps out there through turn 12, I think it is.
As I'm now gonna jump on with Paranoid, who's just coming up to turn 6.
And Huntsman goes 17.8. That is quite a lap on mediums as well. If you compare it to the guys that are out there on the softs.
Yeah.
An 18.1 and an 18.3 on guys on soft, and he's beat them by 3/10 on a set of mediums that are supposed to be slower.
Paranoid's invalidated as Jado goes quicker. So I'll jump on with Cammy, see how he's doing. And it's a 52.6 and purple's the second sector.
Ooh. Maybe he's found some pace he didn't know he had today then. He seemed surprised by his own lap.
Pardon me. As we come round turn 15. Oh, it's an 18.1.
As always, Scott has to chime in, and he asked exactly the same question as I did. Is today a good day?
Paranoid's going for another lap.
There,
and it's a 22.2 for the first sector for Paranoid. As we come up to turn 6 and 7.
While I've been talking, I was going to say I've still been on board with Huntsman, but he's backed out of his lap, so... I mean, you've got to give Huntsman though, I mean, that time's impressive. If you look at the other guys on the mediums, there's 2 of the medium times from set a 19.1 and an 18.1.
Yeah, as Paranoid sets a purple sector 2.
So that's Schnitzy just starting a lap. Mayspin's invalidated, so he'll need to go again. And you're on board with Paranoid, so I'll just sit on board with Schnitzy for now, who is just coming through turn 4.
18.2 for Paranoid.
So that was a purple first sector, a 22.3 flat from Schnitzy there. Ooh, his tail looks like it steps out as he comes out of turn 5.
So now I'll jump on with Scott as he comes down to turn 1.
Schnitzy's through turn 10, and that is another purple sector, a 52.527.
Kieran's just said watching this is getting me excited to do Sundays.
Must be a good day then.
Oh yes. As Scott's just coming up to turn 5.
Well, Schnitzy's just coming out of the last turn now and onto the straight, so we'll see what time he gets in. And that is a 17.9. So it's not a bad time. It's not quite as fast as I expected with the 2 purple sectors, so he must not have had a great sector 3.
We've got an Aston Martin who's gone off. And that is Mayspin who's gone off on turn 8. As I've now... Oh, who is that? That's Colby going off turn 8 too, which is a very nice impression of Kimi Räikkönen.
Luckily for Colby, he is on his outlap, so it really
El Yobo's gone as well. After turn 4. As I'll stick on with Scott, who posted an 18
well, I don't know
flat.
what's going on my screen, but my screen says he's in the pits, so...
I thought it was El Yobo, and unless I was mistaken.
You must have been mistaken.
Strange.
So,
let's go on with FRL Ginge.
I'm going to say Ginge through Sector 2, that was purple. I just jumped on board with them before you did. So this is another one on soft, so we expect, knowing he's fast, he's going to be up there with the front 5.
I've just noticed Kieran's comment. Scott is the poor man's Thompson. Oh.
Yeah. He does like to poke fun at the other Thompson, doesn't he? You've got to let him have it.
17.5 for FRL Ginge.
And that is not a lot between himself and Sky there.
As Macebin goes off again after turn 4. Let's have a look how Clay's doing as he just starts his lap. Macebin's on mediums.
Now, I wonder if he's having the same problem as I was having in the practice earlier tonight. I was mentioning to you before we got the stream up, I was struggling to find any grip on the mediums. I actually found it, strange as it is for me to say this, because anyone who's watched the streams with us before know how much I despise hard tyres, but I found more grip on the hard tyres than I could the mediums. I actually set a lap on hards and then couldn't beat it with the mediums.
And
no grip for me.
Just letting you know, Clay's purple sector 1, but I missed his time.
It's okay, give me a second. It was 22.234. I just jumped on board with him, so.
Thank you very much.
Around to the end of sector 2, so we'll see what that is. Oh, that was close to invalidating. 52.214 middle sector. Oh, he has a wobble.
Oh.
That was turn 11. He had a little bit of a wobble through turn 11. The tail stepped out. He just seems to slow down for a second there. I wonder if he's backed out of that and ready to go again. Maybe it was just how it looked on my screen, but it just looked like he backed out of that after he had that wobble. Kind of went round turn 12.
Yeah, he must have done, because he posts a 19.5.
Yeah. That's really unfortunate there, because he was on a really good lap as well. As you said, he had purple sector 1 and then he did the same in sector 2 and then had that step out through turn 11 that then kind of compromised his lap.
Yes, Kieran's...
I think he's going to have the RF for a second lap either.
Kieran's just coming round to do his first lap.
That's something else I was talking to you about earlier as well before we start the stream, is I found that you've only really got enough ERS for one good lap.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether he's actually going to start. I mean, he's got 8% ERS going into turn 8, so this is probably not helping him.
As Kieran just comes up to turn 4.
He's got 4 minutes and 40.
And sets a purple sector 1 with a 20.244.
Saying that, Clay's just done a purple middle sector that is 24,000 slower than his previous time, so...
As Cammy goes fastest with a 17.2.
Where is his pace coming from tonight? I mean, he was shocked last time. He's going to be even more shocked this time.
Solid lap from Cammy.
Ooh. I wondered there if Clay was going to drop in, but no.
And it's a 52.5 from Kieran, and that is a purple sector too.
So, I was surprised there to see Clay not drop into the pits, because he was almost 2 seconds slower, because as I said, he had such a lack of ERS by the end of that first lap that he just didn't have enough for a second run at it.
Yeah.
And he went for it, and he would have found a little bit of time through 11 where he made that slight wobble.
As Kieran goes...
Really backed off, and he still lost 2 seconds, so...
And Kieran goes 6th. And Cammy is coming on his in-lap.
Make a very quick pit stop now if he wants to try again. I mean, he is P5, so he should theoretically be safe, but that's only 4 tenths away from Scott in P10. And 6 tenths from Paranoid, who is the first one in the drop zone.
And Armand purple's the first sector.
What we haven't had happen yet is El Jobo hasn't come out of the pits yet.
No.
So, is there a ban we're not aware of here, or is he just waiting for track evolution and going to come out at the last second, which we usually see Kieran do?
I think he's going to come out at the last second.
Ooh, Macebin's got a lap in. 144.
Ah, that's Armand purple sector 2 with a 52.6.
I don't know how long ago that was, because I didn't actually see it. I was just looking at El Jobo and noticed the time.
Yeah.
but that's probably sheerly down to the fact that he's been struggling on those mediums because he's now switched for soft and he's back on an outlap. Jobo's getting real close. He's got about a minute
And
before he won't.
Arman puts an 18 flat, which puts him 11th. Scott said rather be a poor man Thompson than a reject Thompson, and Cobby said I didn't go off at turn 8, I drifted through it.
Hey, I mean, drifting is drifting.
And then Cammy's just said this is probably my worst track for time trial times. I'm baffled at where this time is coming from.
Do you know what? That's a little bit like me with Mexico though. Last season, I absolutely hated Mexico. I put so many laps in it, and I just couldn't get it right. Come to the race, and I ended up P3. Like I don't know where that came from. He seemed just as surprised with that as I did with the podium in Mexico. So,
as Ronan Saurus is 4 tenths up and has a little bit of a wobble going through turn 5.
Sky Eyes just said hacks, I say. So in other words, he's blaming him for cheating.
Yeah.
So, okay, so as it stands then, El Jobo will be dropping out of this session having not set a time. We now have just over a minute left on the clock and he is still in the pit.
Oh, Ronan Saurus is a second up going into the final sector.
I'm just keeping an eye on Mayspin, who's on a lap. And did a 22.1, which is just under 2 tenths faster than his previous time. Rhinosaurus is a second up with a 52.4 and about to finish his lap.
And it's a 17.7 for Ronan Saurus.
As Warrior Huntsman's going sideways and now doing donuts throughout his spin in turn 8.
And Eferal Ginge is 3 tenths up going into the final sector.
Scott's got 4 tenths as he comes out of the last turn. So we'll see what time he is. He's just dropped into the drop zone there, so he should now be safe. There you go. Mercedes 1-2, almost 7 tenths he found there, which is now put Snitsy in the drop zone.
Mayspin goes fastest, and Eferal Ginge splits the Mercedes.
So we've now got 2 Astons, 2 Mercedes. That's interesting.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna go on with Ronan and see how he's doing. He's invalidated. Let's have a look.
Arman is 3 tenths down on his previous time. So
Paranoid is 4 tenths up.
Ooh, so this could push
J-Doy. Yeah.
But here's one for you we don't see very often. Warrior Huntsman is going out in Q2. He's in P11 and has already taken the checkered flag and can't improve. That is quite unusual to see that. So
and Paranoid goes 5th.
Oh, El Jobo's just joined the session. He must have not been here. I didn't see him leave. That'll explain why he's not set a lap then.
Oh.
So the 2 fastest guys from Tier 3 here last season went out in Q1, which was the P2 guy, Sociopath, and now the the pole position sitter, Warrior Huntsman, is now going out in Q2. He's now dropped down to 12th. So Paranoid's improved.
Yes.
Which is now put J-Doy out as well.
I did mention this.
I apologise, I was talking so I didn't know. Juniors is invalidated and
Scott's just coming up to the line.
And they're just the last 2 we're waiting for now to finish the session.
Yeah.
And Scott, if he knows that we're watching him and that we're waiting for him, he'll just dawdle along because he can.
Oh, let me guess, into the pit lane. Yeah.
Scott likes to do that. I've seen him do that before a fair few times. He does it to mock us.
Does it to annoy us, yeah.
But they are across the start finish line, so hopefully we should move on shortly.
And on to Q3.
Kieran says, I was 3.5 tenths down in the middle sector during Q2, otherwise it would have put me provisional pole.
Oh.
What you could have been and what you are is 2 different things. As you're always telling me about TT times. Just because you set a good sector before doesn't mean you will again.
No.
You scrape through, so don't worry about it. Talking of that, two of the admin just about scraped through then.
As
In
I'm
89.
getting these little things for Chloe sorted.
Yeah, I normally ask if she wants me to do those. If not, not a problem. Normally she says, oh, it's okay, I'll watch in the stream, I'll do it myself. Saves me a job, I don't mind that. Less work for me.
I don't mind doing it.
No, I don't mind doing it myself, you know, this is why I always ask. Right?
Nah.
If you want me to, you know, let me know what you want and I'll do it, not a problem. But if you're happy to do it, hey, I can be a little bit lazier.
Hang on, didn't Kieran say there was meant to be a wet quali?
He did say there was meant to be a wet quali and a dry race. I haven't seen any sign of rain yet. Kieran,
No.
are you lying to us? Because it's beginning to look that way.
As we wait for our Jobbo.
I bet you if he responds to that, he responds with, the screen was lying to me. Or something like that. He would blame the screen.
And Sky said excuses I smell, and Scott says Aston versus Mercedes.
Yeah,
here's the rain.
Yeah, there's the rain. I did say when he said it, but it's going to be Q2 or Q3. So,
And then Cammy says my engineer did say it was like 10 minutes away before my last lap.
There you go then. So the thing is, unfortunately, I don't think it will tell you which quali session the rain will come in. It just tells you there will be rain during quali at some point.
As we have a car out, which I believe is Colby, who is the first
Kieran's
out.
coming out.
Oh,
Kieran's coming out. Still on board. In fact, just about everyone seems to be coming out.
yeah,
There's one Aston left in the garage, I think.
and one Mercedes.
Oh, I didn't see the Mercedes. Just as I looked down at my my mini map, it's shown an Aston, but I couldn't see as far up as the Mercedes pit garage.
Something tells me it's going to be a one-shot quali.
Yeah, I think everyone's just jumping out now because they might get a lap in on these softs before the rain hits too hard.
Yeah.
The game's start on the softs.
Kieran O'Kieran, you said you have one lap pace.
You're going to have to show it now. If you can't put in a time on these, your inters aren't going to help you.
Mayspin is the only one who is in the pits.
I was just going to say, Cammy, the second Mercedes, has now come out because he was the Mercedes still in the garage. I had a look after you said it.
Yeah.
And after everyone had jumped onto an outlap. And the other one, the Aston, was obviously Mayspin, who I'm surprised hasn't come out to try and get a lap in. Although,
No, it is getting heavier.
Is he just sitting there and going, let these guys go on their outlap, it's starting to tip it down with rain, let them waste their time, I'm just going to sit and wait and put my inters on at the last second before I jump out the garage.
As Chloe's just said, regardless of who does the work, appreciate you two.
So you should. We're here every week. Oh, Clay's retired from the session. We've lost Clay.
He's crashed.
That cannot be good.
No.
That means that
And that's Paranoid next to him. Yeah,
Yeah,
Clay's blocking the pit lane.
Oh, that's odd. Blocking the pit lane?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see it now. I jumped on board with Paranoid and I looked back just in time to see... Oh, there's also a tyre there from where Clay crashed now. Yeah, I saw Clay's car and it was sitting sideways across the entrance to the pits.
Yeah.
Quite unfortunate for anyone who was trying to come in then, which luckily was just one driver.
And Colby looks to be okay. Ooh. DRS disabled.
Yeah, he's just dropped into the pits and he's lost a front wing. So that'll be why he's dropped into pits then. So it is pretty wet out there. So,
as we go through turn 12 or 13, McCulpy.
yeah, I'm just sitting on board with Scott. I'm just looking at what sort of time... Well, what was in the 54s for Sector 2 is now a minute .4 for Scott there.
Oh, as Colby invalidates. So the next car would be Sky.
There's about a 6-second drop currently, and that's just Sector 2. So I think most people are going to drop in. Kieran's lost it.
Oh. As Al Jobbo leaves. And have you read the rules yet?
I have vaguely seen a few things. I haven't been over them specifically, but I know it's something to do with if you leave the session during practice or qualifying
Q3
or race start, about not rejoining until the race has started because it causes that bug to happen. And what was the other thing? Formation laps are now back on as well.
Yes.
That's the other thing I was thinking. So we will have the formation laps tonight.
Kieran's just taking his time, going round.
A couple of races, so.
And he's got. Cammy's popped the inters on. Colby.
Kieran's on fire today.
Colby, Paranoid, and Cammy have all got the inters on.
I'm honestly not surprised, to be honest with you. I'm not sure that 134, the 131 are really that safe in terms of the soft ones. You know?
It's Dark 373 says Sky Q3 legend.
Sideways out of turn 10.
Ooh. As Scott pulls out for his teammate to give him that fresh, clean air.
Well, if he's on an outlap, which he is, he might as well get out of the way of his teammate. In fact, his teammate's on an outlap, so that doesn't 100% make sense, but maybe he just wants to find himself a little bit of clean air as well as release his teammate. And I think that's Kieran coming back on from another off, in the same place as he did on the lap I saw him.
So, I'll just jump on with Paranoid just to see his times.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I was going to jump on with Paranoid because he's the first one on a lap, so in fact I'm going to jump on with Cammy, who's now started his lap as well, and look at his times. So I mean, there being no DRS, it means that the laps are going to be generally slower anyway. And
it's a 25.4 for Paranoid in the first sector.
That seemed quite slow through turn 4 there for Cammy, but that is a 24.7. It did go purple, but of course, no, I'm not really surprised by that, due to the fact that those softs would have just been so slow in this weather.
Yeah. As we now have a look at Paranoid's 59.3 in the second sector for Paranoid. As we come on turn 12.
Why Scott was getting out the way for his teammate. He dropped into the pits because he was still on softs. So although he hadn't set a time, he was still on the soft tyres and would have just been in the way of his teammate. So he's now throwing inters on, so he'll be coming back out shortly. I did miss Cammy's sector 2 time.
And it's a 27.5 for Paranoid. So yes.
Soft times weren't going to be safe. I mean, I weren't sure about the 30s. Because, you know, the difference of ERS and
26.5 from Cammy.
So, I'm just going to point out, El Jobo has just rejoined the session.
Righty-ho.
And we are in Q3, which we were discussing, I believe is now against the new rules.
Yeah. I'll just pop it into...
I know us as commentators can't report anything, but that's something that obviously the guys need to know about, because it could cause a bug for us, as Corky does a 26.353. So Rhinosaurus on a lap, he's done a 58.748 as his middle sector. Just coming out of the penultimate turn. So we'll see what time he puts in.
And it's a 27 flat.
27 flat. It's not a bad time, that's good enough for third. I'm surprised I haven't seen Stephen come back out yet.
No.
Because he's still got sitting in there with his softs on. I'm surprised he hasn't put on the inters.
No, there's a bit of a glitch coming out. It may say soft, but they may be on the inters.
He's still sitting in a pit, so he may not have even changed his tyres yet. So
yeah.
So I'm just going to jump on board with Mayspin, who's now going through sector 1 on his flying lap.
I'm on with Sky, who is slowing down for a random reason. Setting himself up.
Yeah, it says outlap anyway, so you've got Sky, Scotty and Kieran all on outlap. So that was 24.8 from Mayspin. Ooh, looks like he had a little bit of a wobble there coming out of turn 5.
And there we go, 130.2 for Sky.
Yeah, like I said, that was an outlap. The 130.2 was the time that... Oh, as Mayspin has lived up to his name.
Ha!
He's binned it coming out of, I think that was turn 10. And he's now currently not moving, but I don't know if that's...
Sky is 2/10 down on his time.
So I'm just going to jump on board with Kieran, who's just started his. Rhinosaurus has just gone fastest with a 26.294, which is about half a second faster than Coolpy currently.
On about half a second?
Sorry,
half a tenth.
Sorry, my mistake. It's because I was reading the screen wrong. You know what I'm like?
Yeah.
So talking of half a second, Kieran's almost half a second down on his previous time through sector
Sky's now a second up.
That's going to be only good enough for
Fifth?
one position.
Yeah.
So we're moving 6th to 5th currently, but then you don't know how much more time they're going to take out the rest of the lap. So, I mean, these guys were out on the softs to begin with, so they've got time to find. That was close to running wide.
And Sky goes 26.4. So the Alpha Tower is...
with a 58.8, I think it was. So again, I mean, he's only going to improve by, you know, 1 or 2 places currently.
Scott's 6/10 up after the first sector.
Okay, so I think El Jobo's just left again. He has. I've just seen it back again on the stream.
So and
he
he's 2.2 seconds up.
Yep, so Kieran has now done a 26.968, but he doesn't look like he's backing out either, so he could be going for another lap. Because the rain's coming down, of course, you're not using as much ERS as you usually would be using.
Yeah.
So he's now got enough ERS to go for a second lap if he wants. Although, I'm not sure he was, because he was a little bit wide there coming out of turn 3. So, let's see.
As Scott posts a 25.9.
I was about to say he's 2.2 seconds up through the middle sector, just as he crossed the line with that, so that's another almost 3/10 on everyone else. So, King is invalidated.
And we've got 30 seconds left.
Where is Ginger? No, he's not going to make it, I don't think. He's...
Nah.
He's coming to turn 7 and 8, so no, he won't be making it. Paranoid is on an out lap, and he's just about
makes it.
Get another lap in. Kieran is going to cut this really close, because that's turn 12, I think he's just come out of.
14 he's in now.
13,
no, that's it.
14. No, he's run out of time then. So
I'll just stick on with Paranoid.
Yeah, I think Paranoid is the only one
who is 8/10 up.
Sky Eye is almost half a second up, as that was the second sector? No, first sector, sorry, I misread the screen again. I really need to pay more attention.
8/10 up for Paranoid in the first sector.
That is going to be a big movement. So this will be Eljo has joined again. Right, end of sector 2. That's 3, almost 4/10 up there for Sky.
Paranoid is 9/10 up.
Well,
as Paranoid invalidates.
That will put it at a 26 flat, but that's not including any time they gain or lose throughout the final sector. So we'll see what the time is. Is Scott's provisional pole time going to be beat? Because he's in the pits and can't do anything about that now.
Oh!
No, 26 flat. So close. Just about 3/4 of a tenth in the difference. So we have Scott on pole.
Yeah. Something that we have not seen for a while.
Yeah. It's not something we get to see very often, is it?
No. So I'm gonna get the screen grab.
In the comments, Doc has said Sky Q3 legend. I sound like a Sky broadband advert. and then Camus just said, would have been P3 lap had I not invalidated. And then he did use another couple of words, but I'm not going to repeat those.
No.
So we've got Scott, Sky Eye, Rhinosaurus, Coolpy, Cammy, Kieran, Paranoid, Ginge, Mayspin, and Clay. Unfortunately, as we know, Clay crashed out before he could set a time.
Yeah. And here we are.
So, race time, and this is supposed to be dry now. So, of course, because we've had a wet qualifying now, everybody will get free tyre choice.
No, we've already had Q2.
Oh no, sorry, no, my mistake. Yeah, because we had Q2 and Q2 was dry. It's because we used wet weather tyres. I thought everyone got free tyre choice, but I forgot I'm thinking old rules. My mistake. Yeah, so of course then, yeah, so the top 10 will start on the tyres that did qualify 2 with. But everyone else, of course, has free tyre choice because they were out before the top 10 shootout. Only I could remember the old rules and forget the new ones. Honestly.
Been a while for you, Colin, hasn't it?
It has.
It's been a while for me too, don't worry.
And as I say, I mean, I did the F2s, but they all work completely differently.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole different kettle of fish.
And talking of F2, you can find that now on a Monday evening at 8:30 GMT.
I mean, I have done comms for F1 in different leagues, but they only use short qualifying. So of course Q1, 2, and 3 doesn't exist in their
nope.
In their way. So for the first time in a little while, we have a formation lap.
Yeah, and for the first time in a while, we actually have a league race.
Yes, we do. Although the Christmas races were kind of fun too.
Oh, they were.
I appreciated the F2 races.
I quite enjoyed them.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed them actually. I actually did better in the F2s than what I normally do in the F1s. So, bearing in mind, I only had about half an hour's practice before the race because I was a late joiner. So, what's your prediction for who's going to crash first then? And then we'll do podium afterwards. Obviously,
first person to crash.
Anyone here, we just, you know, we
making our own fun.
So we may as well do both.
I'm gonna go.
I mean, anybody in the comments who'd like to get involved with this, feel free to drop a comment and we'll read those out too. But
I'll go with Arman.
So you think Arman's going to be the first to crash?
Yeah.
Okay, who do you think is going to be on the podium? Make it quick, we're coming out last couple of
Scott, Clay and Kieran.
Ooh, that's bold. Clay starting 10th and Kieran 6th. That's a bold call. Ooh, this is difficult because I'm trying to decide now who I think will crash first. I'm going to say Snitsy just because he's on the hard tyre, and I know he's not the only one on them because Cameron is as well, but I'm, you know, again, nothing against anyone here, but I'm just taking a shot in the dark and I'm guessing. And I reckon we'll have Coolpy, Cammy and Guy on the podium. It's difficult because I was looking at the likes of Kieran and Sky Eye as well. I think they'll be close.
Yeah.
But then, I mean,
as here we are.
Generally quite fast as well.
We've got
and Doc said
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and for the first time in 2022, away we go.
Well, mostly away we go. El Jobo's obviously not started. No, El Jobo has not started, so they'll be disqualified shortly for a non-start.
Sky takes the lead into the first.
El Jobo has been disqualified from Session Fox in a dangerous location. Pit stop strategies: soft to hard 12-13, medium hard 14-17.
Oh. And that is Cammy at the back.
And I say Cammy's already at the back. And somebody's going the wrong way.
That would be Jack Slater.
I was going to say, it was Williams, so there was only 2 people it could be.
Oh, Armand's gone.
Armand's gone. That is turn 8.
Yeah.
From turn 8.
But I was wrong.
So different pit stop strategy: medium hard 14-17, soft medium 9-13, and I didn't see the other one because it got off my screen too fast. Ooh. So I'm just going to jump on board with Rhinosaurus, who's right on the back of Coolfy.
Yeah.
So he's going to be faster.
I'm going to jump on with Cameron Poulter, who's jumped from 19th to 13th.
So Scott's already lost the lead to Sky Eye. But Coolfy's held his ground, he's still got P3 there.
As yeah, and not far behind Stephen.
As Jack Slater's just picked up the first penalty of the day for exceeding track limits.
As Clay gets onto his ERS.
And ironically, our 2 fastest guys from qualifying in Tier 3 last season are currently running 10th and 11th, one behind the other.
Okay, Dark373 said, what days, times do you guys race? So, on a Friday evening at 8:30 GMT, we've got Tier 1, Tier 2. On a Sunday, we've got Tier 3, featuring me, myself, and Colin at 7:30. Then on Mondays we have F2 at 8:30.
Yes, we really do have that many races.
Yeah.
There you are. To be fair, the F2's on new. They start this Monday for a slightly shorter season because the tracks have been put to match the remaining races of the season for the F1s. So there will only be 12 races for the F2s. But yeah, this is our 5th race of the season now. So we've got another 11 to go after this.
As Sociopath is trying to get Warrior Huntsman going into turn 5.
I am. I'm just sitting on board with this. It's difficult because I'm trying to sit on board with a few other things as well. I mean, Cameron and Joseph are up significantly. They were the back 2 winners and they're now 13th and 14th, so those 2 have made some good ground. But saying that, Cameron on those hard tyres is sitting all over the back of his teammate there.
Ooh. Sociopath 2/10 behind Warrior Huntsman, and Macevin 4/10 behind him.
Yeah, there's going to be a fair bit of DRS train here because there's a gap from Scott to Sky Eye of 1.4, and then everybody down to, I was going to say Clay, but he's just within it, down to Joseph. So from 2nd to 12th is going to be a DRS train.
Yeah. Kieran is looking to make a move on Paranoid at some point soon, so just jump on board with him.
DRS train, so it's going to make it very difficult for anyone to pass anyone. Alright, so Clay has now dropped outside the DRS window, so that will make the DRS train...
As Paranoid goes wide...
Ooh. Paranoid went right, Clay's just gone wide, coming out of turn 4.
Oh, Kieran late on the brakes!
Ooh. Yeah, Clay went wide there, coming out of turn 4 and ended up in his own pit garage almost.
Oh. And ran the dreaded turn 8 we go.
Ooh.
Little wobble from both Paranoid and Kieran as Joseph and Schnitzy pick up a 3-second time penalty.
I was just going to say that, but I was also going to say that Sociopath was still all over the back of Warrior Huntsman. He was within a 10th. And he also had Mace... Oh, his Mace Pin just gives him a little bump there. Forces him wide at turn 10. I was going to say those 3 were very, very close. There was 3 cars within about 3/10 of each other.
And is Kieran going to get the jump he needs?
That position now for Sociopath. But of course, that's then broke the DRS train there as well. Ooh,
Kieran is reeling Paranoid in.
The problem is with turn 1, because it's such a fast turn 1.
Oh, what a move!
But now Snitzy's got the inside line for 4.
Paranoid.
Ooh. Now is Kieran going to late break into turn 5 here?
No.
Ooh, I think he thought about it. Snitzy runs wide there.
It's not Snitzy, it's Paranoid.
Is it? Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong. My mistake. It's because they're both the same car. It's confusing me. Yeah, sorry, Paranoid. Yeah, they're both in the alphas. I get confused easily. It's been a long day. Leave me alone.
No, I won't leave you alone. Should know the driver quit by now.
So Dark wants to know if he could jump in on a Friday. Well, you see, the thing is, to jump into one of our tiers for CDR, you would have to go through a trial process with the admins, and then they would decide upon what pace you are, at which tier you would be best suited to. So as of course, like there is right now, there's plenty of close racing, and you know, there's nobody just sort of running away with the lead all the time. Because if there's someone running away with the lead, it doesn't give anyone else an opportunity.
As Kieran is now 1.5 tenths behind Paranoid.
I'm still on board with this. I'm watching it from Paranoid's
yeah,
point of view.
I'm watching it from Kieran's. I know we're not really focusing on other battles too much, but...
No, I was just going to say, Cameron has lost a handful of places as well, as Matey Boy's off circuit between 3 and 4.
This battle is going to be on for a little while.
The thing is, it's probably the only real battle going on. I mean, some of these other guys are within touching distance, but they're all sitting around about half a second away from each other.
Yeah.
So, I mean, besides Mayspin, who's creeping all over the back of Warrior Huntsman now, there hasn't been a lot of help.
As Kieran picks up a penalty.
That will not help
Dark 373, nice. I'll give it a go and join your Discord if you have one. Yeah, we've got a Discord.
I'll leave you admin guys to sort that one out.
Yeah. What am I doing?
The thing that we should point out though is that currently all the tiers are full, and we do have a lot of reserves as well. So if you did come in, you would likely be a reserve.
Kieran almost looking for a move on Paranoid.
I'm still sitting on board with Mayspin, as Joseph has made a move on Sociopath. Ooh,
oh,
a bit of lag there.
Oh, Scott has got into DRS with Sky.
Ooh, so yeah, I was just sitting on board. I just jumped on board with Joseph and Sociopath, who were quite close, and Joseph had made a move, and there was a little bit of a lag bug there because it put Sociopath's car in the side of Joseph, and then it dropped about half a second behind him. Good old bugs.
Gotta love them.
Yep. So I'm just gonna have a little nosy at what's happening with Scott here at the front. Saying that Rhinoceros is quite close to the back of Colby still. Ooh, something else I've just noticed. Gingy's all over the back of Clay as well. And he's on the slower tyres, so...
As we now come round to the final turn where Scott will get DRS from Sky. Oh, round the outside goes Scott.
The interesting thing about that was his
lap
time half a second slower than his previous lap.
Scott
for 5 seconds corner cutting penalty.
Scott and Sky collided going into turn 3.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was actually turn 2, but I was on
yeah,
board with
turn
Scott
2.
as it happened. And to be honest, from Scott's point of view, I don't think he knew anything about, you know,
Sky being there.
Contact happening. No, I think he would have been aware of Sky being there, but I don't think he would have realised Sky was as close as it was for the contact, because those red arrows, although they show you the car's there, it doesn't tell you just how close the car was.
No.
And obviously Scott was taking his regular line, he wasn't turning or anything, he was going to cross that sort of straight-ish section between 1 and 2.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously that's something for the stewards to decide upon later if it's reported. So
hey, at least I get a better view of Kieran and Paranoid's battle.
Yeah. But of course, Paranoid is now outside the DRS window as well, so it's all down to what very, very little ERS he's got. And that is going to be an easy move for the overspeed of DRS there. So finally, Kieran manages to make the move on Paranoid and moves into P4.
Oh, Ronan gives Colby a little bit of a bang.
Ooh, Ginger's having a crack with Clay and Warrior Huntsman here.
Ooh.
And then picks up a 3-second time penalty for running wide. I think it was on the exit of 4. It's quite interesting because there's currently 2 Astons and 2 Ferrari kind of warring it out as they go around the track here. You've got 1 Ferrari and 1 Aston alongside each other, and then the other Ferrari and the other Aston are alongside each other as well.
Yeah.
And this guy's just sitting at the front like, well, this is a nice view behind me.
I'm just watching Ronan behind Colby as Colby now gets in within DRS of Scott.
And that is
Warrior Huntsman.
Warrior Huntsman's off track on the exit of turn 10. And I think Mayspin lost a little bit of time in that as well, because he lost ground to Joseph and Sociopath. Now, I'm not sure if there was a little coming together between those two. I didn't actually catch it, but both Mayspin and Warrior had lost ground. In fact, Warrior's gone again. Where is he now? There he is.
Just go around 10-14.
Yeah, I was going to say, it doesn't look like his car sustained any damage, but from all the time he's lost, it looks like he lost it again, maybe through turn 12. Maybe he lit up his tyres too much and just didn't have any real grip as he drops into the pit. So I'm going to take a stab in the dark and say he's going to go on hards, and he's going to try and do the last 23 laps on a set of hards. And that's before he gets...
You will be right.
And yep, he is going on hards. And he hasn't taken a wing or anything, so... I mean, knowing Warrior, he will try and do the last 23 laps on these.
Yeah.
He won't want to late for a set of softs or anything, because it would just compromise an already compromised race. As he's racing as he comes out against Matey Boy.
Oh.
Ooh. That was a bit of a line through there from Matey Boy, took a bit of curb. Nope, Warrior's made that happen. He's like, nope.
And
today.
now Colby is behind Scott by 6/10, going across the start-finish line.
So, interestingly, that has got to be commentator's curse. So, the first person to actually crash out of the session was Clay. And I was just this second about to say, besides the El Jobo disqualification, that nobody had actually crashed out. And just as I was starting my sentence, Clay crashed. And strangely enough, have you actually seen where he dropped it as well?
Yes. Oh, Ronan and Kieran.
We're in Q3. Full safety car now as well. So whatever Ronan and Kieran were doing, they want to be stopping it.
Yeah. They were just having a little toss and turn.
Now the question is, safety cars come out, there's a lot of guys out there on soft tyres having done
Pit.
10 laps.
Pit.
And I was going to say, Clay's just binned it off for 9 laps. Do you just jump in the pits right now? Because I think that's probably what I'd do. I mean, because average span of a set of soft tyres is about 10 laps anyway. And you've got to remember, a couple of these guys on the soft tyres would have had them for
Q2.
Qualifying 2 as well as the first 10 laps of this race. So they've got to be on the last legs.
100%.
So, cool.
Yeah.
Scott's also coming in. Kieran, Rhinosaurus. Basically, everybody's coming into. As far as I can tell. So
everyone's pitting.
So
apart from
Arman and Cameron are staying out. Let's see what Jack Slater does with Snitsy there as well. Are they going to pit? Yep, both of those two are pitted.
So it's just Arman and Cameron who has not pitted.
Boy and Warrior won't. As Cameron picks up a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. But yeah, basically everybody except the front two cars and the back two cars have all just pitted, but the back two cars had already pitted.
Yeah.
By damage or whatever else. In fact, in Warrior's case, I think it's quite unlucky that the safety car flat now, because he only pitted a lap ago, which meant he had to take a full-length pit stop.
And Kieran comes out in fourth.
Lap, he would have had a shorter pit stop.
Let's have a look at tyres.
Well, Coulpy's gone soft.
Kieran's gone hard. Ronan's gone medium.
Medium and hard, apart from Schnitzy's on soft as well.
Yeah.
So we've got 5 guys there just jumped on hards.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
2 on the soft. And then we've got 4 didn't pit and 2 out. So
yeah, yeah. Your math is correct.
That was a very, very quick count up as well. So
and guess what, Colin?
If I'm not mistaken, I think this is the first time that Arnold will be doing a safety car restart.
Cameron Poulter's in their AI mode.
Sky Eyes just picked up a collision with Mayspin.
Guess
I
what?
don't know if they both got the penalty there, but Mayspin did. What's that?
What do you want to talk about today, Colin?
Nothing.
Let's go through.
Mayspin got 5-second penalty, and Sky High doesn't have any penalties. As Mayspin is currently going backwards down the order.
And he's gone into the pit.
It's because I've changed over my stuff so I can't see the little symbol that says pits. Which is strange because he's actually just taken a set of tyres. He's clearing his 5-second penalty and sticking on a set of softs.
Okay, so constructors at the moment. We've got Ferrari in first with 248. In second, we've got McLaren with 181. In third, we've got Aston Martin with 176.
What you should point out for the people that are viewing the stream for the first time is that it is all 3 tiers, not just the guys you're watching tonight.
Yeah.
Because I know there's a couple of new guys watching that just think it's these guys you're watching tonight. It's tier 1, 2 and 3, all 6 drivers, so obviously 3 teams of 2 are having all of their points combined for the Constructors title this season. So all of these that Ninja's reading out now are all 6 drivers, not just the 2 in this race. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was trying to explain that.
Not a problem. Safety cars in this lap. So, where did I finish off? Red Bull? Yeah, Red Bull with 173 in 4th. AlphaTauri in 5th with 163. Haas in 6th with 155. In 7th, we've got Alfa Romeo with 50. Alpine in 8th with 142. Williams in 9th with 134. And then Mercedes with 84 in 10th.
Right. So we've had a couple more comments whilst we've obviously had our eye off of the comments because of dealing with what's going on track. Martin, somebody called Martin, I'm not seeing him comment for. Trayton VFL isn't for everyone. Not sure what that means. Doc says, don't do me like that, want to help Sky get 1-2 finishes because of what I was saying about being a reserve.
Yeah.
Then it was no, which I think was probably from the collision we saw with Scott.
Yeah.
Feedback says 13-15 laps on softs including quali. Coulpy will be a sitting duck for 4 or 5 laps and the hards will switch on. Well, we expect that with the hard tyres anyway because you usually take a few laps to scrub in anyway. It's usually something between sort of 4 and 6 laps normally.
Somewhere around that, yeah.
Depending on the length of the track, it can sometimes maybe take 7 on short laps. So it just purely depends on the length of the lap. I mean, the 117, 118 is, you know, kind of an average length track. But then we've got other tracks that are like a minute and something, you know, minute 7, minute and 8, stuff like that. Obviously
Austria.
Yeah, like Austria, for example. Obviously, it's a lot of straight, so there's not a lot of scrubbing on the tyres going around corners and stuff. So a track like that, the hards would take more like 6 or 7 laps to bed in. So I would expect to be seeing people on those hards, the sitting ducks, especially coming from under the safety car, because it's very difficult to keep your tyres nice and warm under the safety car.
And talking about a safety car, we've had one of the best safety car restarts we've seen for a while.
We have. I've not seen any contact, as it looks like Jack Slater's just made a place up on Schnitzy there.
Ooh.
And that was without DRS as well, because of course DRS hasn't yet been activated. As Kieran picks up a 3-second penalty for track limit, and Joseph's going backwards. What's gone on there? He's not actually going physically backwards. No, he looks like he lost it out of turn 3. He was dropping down the order. I was trying to catch him and see what he'd done.
Yeah, I know what you meant.
Like he dropped it out of turn 3, as now it looks like Jack Slater's run wide out of turn 5. So
yeah. Oh, Colby's on the back of Cameron.
I tell you who's been a bit of a loser out of this so far in terms of positional loss is Scott.
Yeah.
Started on pole and is now P6. I mean, granted, Armin and Cameron are both going to have to...
But then he's also got Colby, Ronan and Kieran to pass.
Yeah, Colby, Ronan and Kieran all started behind him and are now ahead of him, so it's not worked out great for him. If he can keep up the pace on those medium tyres, he should be able to catch Kieran, because Kieran's on the harder, slower tyres.
Yeah.
But then it's never an easy trick to try and pass Kieran either. So,
no.
As DRS is enabled as well.
Indeed it is. Indeed it is.
I just saw Cammy getting very close to the back of Paranoid there, but couldn't make the move into turn 1 and 2 there. Saying that, you've got Paranoid with Cammy, who was about 2 tenths behind, and then Sky Eye was about 2 tenths behind Cammy, so... that is Cammy making a move on Paranoid, forcing him around the outside. Yeah, and it looks like he made it stick.
Nice to know, nice to know.
Cammy is on the medium tyres as well, so Paranoid being on the hard, they would be a little slow and they won't have scrubbed in yet. So, just like T-Bag said, unfortunately people on the hard for the first few laps are going to be sitting ducks to the guys that are on the faster tyres.
As
Jade lost it.
Yeah.
And he just lost a whole bunch of positions. And he's not helping himself because his wheel's spinning on the grass. So, and he's now at the back of the grid.
Which puts Scott a nice P5.
Yeah, he's just dropped from P4 to P18. That is really unlucky for him there. And now Scott has got DRS on Kieran, who doesn't have it on Kulpi ahead of him. But of course, I said, he's not easy to get past Kieran.
No, no.
He made a nice little defensive move just about at the pit exit, and then got back onto the racing line to cover the late break on the
Guy
inside.
is on the back of Paranoid.
Yeah, and then you've got Ginge right on the back of Sky as well. Saying that continues down to Warrior Huntsman, who's having a look at the back of
Yeah.
I mean, Macebin's not a million miles behind Warrior, but there's a bigger gap between those two than there is between the guys ahead. I'm actually just sitting on board with Warrior for a minute whilst he's
Cameron's catching Armin.
Rhinosaurus has made a place there on Matey. What is going on with Matey? Rhinosaurus has just made a place and is now almost 8 seconds ahead of him.
Yeah.
So as they get back out onto the straight, there's going to be an enormous DRS train from...
As Cameron's going to go down the inside of turn 1 on Armin. And he has made that stick, but Colby just sort of picks his nose out. Picks his nose out, sticks his nose out. hoping something goes wrong.
He's going to have a crack at these in a second because he's on those faster soft tyres, but of course the dirty air won't be helping a whole lot sitting behind them.
Oh, Arman going back at turn 4. Turn 5, sorry. And that has made the boy gone.
Yeah.
Corby's trying it on a switchback. Out of turn 8.
Trying, but I don't think it's going to happen unless you can get up the inside here. You needed the inside.
No, sirree.
On 10.
But Cameron went wide.
That's Kieran going wide in the background as well. See, that exit of turn 10 can be an absolute pain for going wide.
As we now go down to turn 1 again.
Well, on the back of this little train. Ooh, that is Coolpy taking a look around the outside there. And
down the inside of Arman.
He's gone for a double overtake.
In turn 1 at Portugal.
He's just gone from behind Cameron to ahead of Arman, gone from P3 to P1 on the pit straight alone. He actually just made it stick all the way through.
Yeah, and now Kieran is behind Cameron.
Yeah, now Kieran's obviously going to be sitting behind these two and got to find a way past them, while Coolpy's going to have clear air ahead of him and just storm away with those soft tyres on. Or at least that is what I'd expect to happen.
But Coolpy has got to stop again.
Yes, Coolpy has got to stop again, but he's got a handful more laps on those soft tyres yet. As Cammy looks like he's just made a move on J-Doy as well. They've had a positional change there. And Jack Slate has dropped in the pit. So he is apparently not doing anything yet. So he must have been taking a
penalty
there.
There we go.
There we go. Soft tyres, and he's exiting the pits. I was trying to switch to camera type so I could try and jump on, but you can't while they're in the pits. It was an awful angle, that was.
I've got a wicked shot of everyone going up the hill out of turn 15.
I'm just watching this DRS train come down to turn 1. Arman's managed to hang on to the back of Coolpy. He's only within 6 or 7 tenths. Jack Slater's just picked up 3 seconds for another track limit warning.
T-Bags just said Coolpy's burned those softs behind Arman and Cameron. Needed that done earlier.
Yeah, he absolutely has, without a doubt. I mean, it was a great move, but it should have been done a lot sooner. So I don't think he'll be on those softs for many more laps. I would say 11 or 12 would be my guess.
And Donaldinho says 2 stops. 2 stop never going to work on these tracks.
No, unfortunately, they tend not to. But, you know, it also comes down to the pace of the driver. And how stable they feel on those tyres as well.
As Scotty gets past Kieran.
And I think we're getting very close to Jack Slater being lapped here as well. He's a minute down on the guy ahead of him, who's obviously a bunch of seconds gap there. So let's just have a look at the leader. 1 minute and 13 to leader, so he is
10 seconds?
Probably around about 10 seconds ahead of the leader on track at the minute.
And the fastest lap is Mayspin,
going through turn 4.
Who is the only driver to go into the 119s.
Paranoid's going backwards by the looks of it. He's just lost a couple of places, I think.
Oh.
And he picks one up because Mayspin's lost it coming out of turn 1. I don't know why or how. I don't know if it's contact or whatever, but he was sitting off track on the exit of turn 1 there.
Arman is actually keeping up with Coolpy. Half a second splits them, and Arman, his rear end just stepped out at the end of turn 8.
Well, I was just looking at whether their ERS would make any difference, but it won't, because they've got around about the same amount across the top 3. Somehow, whilst we've been watching everything else, Scott's managed to put a move on Kieran, and he's now into P4.
I said this about 2 minutes ago.
I didn't see this happen. I was distracted by somebody going off circuit. I was just quite surprised. So I was just going to say, I was just looking at the ERS, and as it stands, as that is
Cameron
and I can't see who the other one
Colby.
is because they keep moving.
Colby
are both in the pits. Yeah, I was going to say Scott's actually got about 55% ERS left.
Yes.
So that's mediums going on to Colby, and that was softs for Cameron.
Ooh. Yeah, see, they've dropped right back down now.
Yeah. See, I'm not surprised by Cameron's one-stop strategy here.
No.
I was kind of expecting somebody to do hard soft or soft hard. I thought there'd be quite a bit of that happening on one-stop theory, like, or medium hard.
Yeah.
You know, I thought there'd be a lot of one-stops out there. I'm surprised there's a few of them going for a two-stop, sort of soft, medium, medium, or soft, medium, soft.
Donaldinho says, I predict Sky P1 because he never gets warnings and he's on mediums. Sky's got this if Scott gets a pen.
Well, we'll see.
Well,
if that
there's 11
plays out.
laps.
We've got 11 laps to go.
Yeah.
Well, as it stands, the penalty is
And Armin drops into pits.
6 seconds. So that means, so now Sky's P5.
Yeah.
And
If Scott
three
picks up...
guys ahead have 6 seconds of penalties apiece.
If
So-
Scott picks up a penalty...
Well, it's not if Scott picks up a penalty, because 3 seconds he may be able to gap that with the gaps between the cars. But if he
between
was to pick up-
Sky and Scott, it is 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, but there's a chance that he can gap that 3 seconds still.
Yeah.
Sky could be held up behind the car and he could be moving away in the lead or something like that. You know, he could gap that 3 seconds. So right now, I mean, it is Sky in P1 overall, technically.
Scott P1 overall.
Well, no, because if you take penalties into account as well.
Scotty hasn't got a pen.
Yeah, sorry, Scott. Yeah, no, we're talking if Scott gets a penalty. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, Scott would be P1, Sky P2, unless Scott picks up a penalty. If Scott was to pick up a penalty, he would currently be about 6-7 tenths outside of the P1 position. So he really has got to keep it clean and avoid any potential for penalties.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it's been a fairly clean run. I mean, Cameron's got 9 seconds. There's a bunch of guys with 3
As
seconds.
Sky passes J-Doi.
Yep, and
That is
Kieran
J-Doi.
into the lead.
J-Doi's been spun round.
Yeah, I was going to say, Kieran's just made a move for the lead, so Scott is now P2. So as we were saying with penalties, there's a bunch of 3s and 6s out there.
Yeah.
And Cameron's on 9, and Jack Slater's on 15.
Oh.
So that's definitely not going to help.
As Macebin is in the pits for a first set of softs.
See, looking at the length of time people have been on tyres, Snitzy's got a pit because that's 11 laps on those softs. They are not going to go to the end, I don't reckon.
At the minute,
Very, very surprised if they did, especially while he's sitting behind other cars in dirty air.
Sociopath would be my driver of the day. At the minute. Going up 11 places.
Yeah, Sociopath's had a really good race. I mean, he went out in Q1 and he's very close to the podium positions, and he's got no penalties, which means he would theoretically maybe get close to. I think he would be P4,
Gap to leader is
maybe?
8.8 seconds.
So he wouldn't be leader. So
Yeah, he'd
about
pick up
6.5
P3.
to-
Yeah, he'd pick up
about
P3.
P3 or P4. So yeah, I mean, as it stands right now, yeah, I mean he's picked up a lot of places. I think I'd agree with that. But we don't know what's going to happen for the rest of the race, so we'll
Exactly.
come back to that one in about 5 or 6 laps. When we've
Yes.
got, 2 or 3 to go.
As we got a little... What?
We've got a little bit of a lull in what's happening. There's kind
Yeah.
of no real I mean, people are kind of following each other fairly closely, but there's no one kind of going
making moves.
Right now.
Yeah.
I mean, in fairness to Kieran, his move on Scott's quite impressive because they've been on the tyres for the same amount of laps, which is 12 laps now.
Yeah.
And he's on the slower tyres. I mean, okay, he likely had DRS anyway, but that's still quite impressive on the slow tyres.
Oh, it is. As Kieran's got 1% of ERS left to try and defend from Scott.
Who's got 45%.
So Kieran's got to try all he can now to keep Scott behind him.
Problem is this DRS section is not long enough to make a move unless you nose to tail when you exit turn 4.
Donaldinho says this is the crossover between hards and mediums, I'd say. Mediums at around 35 or 40%.
Yeah. And as I say, those hards will be coming well into life by now. That have been well in their window for about 6 or 7 laps by this point. So, but then, to be honest, it also depends on things like your setup, your tyre pressures, you know, stuff like that. So, it really does just ride on a whole lot of factors as to what sort of percentage you'll have put on your tyres after 12 or 13 laps. To be fair, Warrior Huntsman's done quite well after a bad start too.
P7.
Not too long ago, he was sitting at the back and having a little war with Matey Boy because he'd had a spin, and he threw on those hards. It was on a lap or so before the safety car came out, and he's managed to climb back up to P7, P6. He's just overtaken Sociopath.
Ooh.
As it looks like Schnitz's about to as well, which would be quite impressive because he's now been on those soft tyres for 14 laps.
Oof.
I don't think I'd be able to attack too well on 14 lap old softs.
No, I wouldn't either.
No, he is. He's going for it. I think he's just struggling with a bit of traction coming out of turn 5 there, though.
Can you check what Sky's ERS is? Indeed I can. It is 33%.
Which is more than Cammy, who's got
As
16.
Cammy and Sky are having a bit of a battle for that final podium.
Kieran's got about 20% ERS at the minute. But he has also got an 8/10 gap as well on Scott. But to be fair,
As Sky's going to try go around the outside.
Ooh, and that looks to be a done deal.
It is.
I was just saying the two Mercedes drivers doing well to be running kind of nose to tail, but that's gone out the window. I mean, to be fair, Scott doesn't even need to overtake Kieran. He just needs to sit within 6 seconds of him and it become not an issue.
5 laps to go. There you go, Schnitzy's in the pits. For another set of softs.
Yeah. And he's now 15 seconds behind Colpy. Colpy's not... Oh, he pitted a few laps ago. Yeah, we saw him do that. He doesn't seem to have
attacked.
Made much of an impact since... Yeah, I was going to say, he doesn't seem to have made much of an
impact. And Mayspin's gone in the pits.
And Rhinosaurus is facing the wrong way. He was over the crest of a hill. I couldn't actually see him. It was just over the crest of turn 8, yeah. And I had kind of a view up the hill from turn 9.
Yeah.
Couldn't see where it lost it. But yeah, so that's Rhinosaurus going backwards anyway. As Mayspin's lost it and Jack Slater's managed to pick up the place.
And Jack Slater's almost about to get lapped.
But all he really needs to do at this point is hope somebody else crashes and stay on track, and he still gets a point.
You know? No. Yeah, he needs to either
I said he needs somebody else to crash, and he needs to stay on track.
Yeah.
That's what he needs. I mean, because he's not going to make up 40 odd seconds on the guy ahead of him. And just as we talk about people crashing, Joseph's gone.
Commentator's case.
So, well, it's okay because this works for Williams, doesn't it? So that's an extra point for Williams if Jack Slater stays on track, even if he gets lapped. But what he does have to remember right now is that even if you ghosted, you've got to move out of the way of the cars behind you and not impede their race. Because although you may be ghosted, it doesn't make no difference. If you get in the way, you're in trouble. So, as J-Doy's just lost a couple of places there. I don't know why.
Sky is now going to attack Scott on lap 30. Sky pulls it out and can't quite make it.
For 3 more laps, and he hasn't got the DRS to help him either. And he doesn't have ERS either. They're about as much ERS as each other here at this point. And Jack Slater is just staying out of the way. In fact, he's slowed down really early to stay out of the way there. In fact, I think he might cut a little bit of turn 5 there to stay out of the way. As Paranoid's just picked up 3 seconds, which is going to hinder his finishing position maybe as well.
It could do.
Well, no, it won't, because Arman's got 3 seconds, who's 2 places behind him, and Cameron's got 9 seconds, and Corpy is not within a 3-second window, so he's lucky at the minute. As Arman now picks up more penalties, so it definitely isn't going to affect Paranoid.
And is Sky going to make a late charge? No, he does not.
It's really close between Paranoid and Corpy if Corpy don't pick up any penalties, because it is hovering around the 3-second window. Ooh, Scott was quite lucky there. I think he actually had DRS as well. He got close enough here and to give himself DRS for that one.
As Eferal Ginge
joins the party. They're actually fighting for the lead as well, but they've got to do it without picking up any penalties as well, because the second they pick up a penalty, they've conceded their lead. Because, as I said, Kieran's not pulling away from him, so he might win on track, but because of his penalties, he don't get to win.
No.
Going back to the driver of the day conversation, actually, we've only got 2 laps left.
Yeah.
I think I still agree with you about
Sociopath. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know he's lost a position since we had that original conversation about it to Warrior Huntsman, but he's still up a whole bunch of places, about 10 places I think he picked up, so...
Yeah.
You know, I think he's done really well as an, overall race, and I think he's still going to pick up a place or 2 anyway, because he's done it without any penalties, whereas everybody around him, apart from Corpy, who is a few places below him, has actually picked up penalties, so they're the only 2 without. Besides, obviously, Scott and Sky, who were way ahead in the lead there. So.
Yeah.
Oh, a little bit of a shove there from Sky on Scott's gearbox.
And Colin?
Yes.
We've got 92 comments.
Ooh, 92. That's because, in fairness, we've had some new guys watching who have been quite involved tonight, which is nice.
It's always nice when...
a lot of our comments is kind of teabagging Kieran.
Makes that 93.
It's nice to hear from those 2.
As Chloe asks, how are the penalties looking?
How are the penalties looking? Just don't look at Jack Slater's, that's all I can say.
You got 6 seconds for Kieran, Ginge, Cammy, Warrior, Arman. 3 seconds for Schnitzy, Ronan, and Paranoid. 9 seconds for Cameron and J-Doy, and then 21 seconds for Jack Slater.
So considering Chloe was just commenting, and the CDR one is currently counting numbers, which is about 2 wrong anyway. That's now 99, I think.
90. Hey! 100! Cheers, Dan!
I'm assuming that's Dan playing games again.
Ooh! A Scotty and Sky make contact on the last lap. 102.
I was so amused by the comments I completely forgot what was happening on track there.
Me too!
Thanks for that,
oh,
man.
another
Really
bump
helpful,
off of Sky on Scott.
The thing is there going to be any penalties after the race that's going to affect this either? Because as I said, there was a little bit of contact between these two earlier in the race, and obviously there's been a little bit of contact again since.
6/10 split them in 2 corners remaining.
And they've got pretty much identical ERS as well, so this right now is Scott's to lose. And does he intend to lose it? No, he does not. And there it is. Scott's 1, Sky 2nd.
Kieran picks up P3.
And I didn't actually have 2 of those on my podium. You had 2 of them. And you went for Clay, who didn't even finish, instead of Sky. And I didn't put Kieran or Sky on. But I did say that both of those 2 would be up there. I just didn't think they'd be on the podium.
Yeah, so I think that changes things to be... That changes things for me, to be honest. With the driver of the day.
What are you thinking?
Kieran, P6. P6 to P3.
Yeah, I mean, he had a good race. He made a few good moves as well, actually. He had a really good little battle with Scott as well. I mean, the game agrees with our original decision. I
think that's one to be talked about a little bit.
A little bit later, yeah. I think it's going to be quite a difficult decision. I mean, I think we're going to have to throw those 2 names in the hat and kind of discuss it a little bit later.
Yes!
Scott says, getting their first win of the season.
Oh, come on!
And I thought he was meant to be the inferior of the Thompsons. Took Kieran out.
As I'm just gonna...
a little jab every now and again at them, ain't you?
Yeah.
Look at this. We've gone through a whole run of comms for tier 2, and I've not even made any sheep jokes towards you all night.
No.
What the hell is wrong with me?
That's a telling off that people had for saying sheep jokes. No, no, I'm putting a stop to them right now. No.
What other people do and what I do, 2 different things. Okay? I'd make sheep noises, but then you know what'd happen. You'd get all excited. So you had to get it in there. Oh, fastest lap was actually Schnitzy.
Yes. But
he's P13, so he's outside the top 10 and doesn't receive the point for fastest lap, does he?
I'm not too sure. But
I know top 15 score, but I thought only top 10 could get fastest lap.
I'm not too sure. We'll find out in the race results. But anyway, I've been CDR Ninja. I've been joined by Mechanical, and we'll see you back out on track on Sunday.